on today's build, we're gonna be making this floating shelf, but we're not just making any floating shelf. We're gonna be taking regular lumber and we're gonna make it look like it was old and weathered. Take a look.
All right, let's get this board. Now this is a piece of scrap that I had left over from a project I had earlier this month. It's a 2x10 and we're gonna turn it into a floating shelf. Okay, let's go. Now I gotta get my saw because I don't have a setup or a garage. I hate this shit. The struggle. One day I'll get one. I used to have one before I moved to Florida. Okay, so I'm working with this board and I'm trying to find a 3-foot piece, which is the length of my shelf. And I'm trying to avoid things like this really deep knot so I can have a clean slate to work with. So I'm gonna avoid that end and I'm gonna go with this end. The other thing that I wanted to make sure that I did was make sure I went with the crown the right side up. So that's important. So this is my top. So now I'm gonna mark it and cut it. All right, so now we're gonna be measuring. Oh, God damn. The sprinklers just turned on my work site. God damn. All right, guys, I'll be right back. So. Wood and water don't mix. And now it's hitting my truck. Son of a gun. Now that my work site is actually waterproof, hashtag Florida problems, I'm gonna get rid of this knot at the end of the board before I measure my 36 inches out. So I'm going to get out of here. Mark that out. Boom. Now from this line out, I'm gonna mark 36 inches. And now I gotta mark that line down. Don't worry, I always get perfect straight cuts. Yeah, I don't know, but okay. Anyways. All right, cool. Now she's ready for cut. Okay, get this lined up. Looks pretty good. Perfect. Clean cut. No tear outs. Now I gotta cut this knot out right here. Cool. Now it's gone. And now this is gonna be the shelf. Beauty. All right, so this is actually the pretty fun step. Now I'm gonna be making the board the antique look. So I'm just gonna be using some minimal tools. I'm gonna be using a hammer, chisel, and sandpaper. Might throw on a board, we'll see. I'm gonna get a little fun and creative with this. So yeah, let's get started. Right now I'm taking the chisel and I'm taking big chunks out of the front and on all the edges, which I'm gonna later sand down, but this is creating some big wear patterns, which I think is gonna make it look a lot more antique-ish and worn. I'm not gonna go crazy with this, but definitely gonna make it look old. And then I'm gonna take the hammer, both the claw and the face, and put marks throughout the board. Now I'm gonna use this 2x4 and I'm gonna just start beating it. I feel like I need to get some more grooves out of the top without going too deep. That should be a good one. And then I'm gonna go through it, sand it out so it doesn't look too hacked up. with a chisel, it looks more authentic. Make sure you sand it really well and get inside all these chisel marks. That way it doesn't look like you just bought something off the shelf at Lowe's or Home Depot and now you're just making it look like it's antique. The whole purpose of it is you want to make it look like it came out of an old 1800s barn. All right, here's a close-up of some of the marks. I'm even taking random things and putting score marks, anything to put random patterns into it. Whatever you think might look good, whatever you have in your tool chest or toolbox, just kind of get creative. These are from all the chisel marks. I think it came out pretty nice. All right, once you have the board prepped the way that you want it, the next step is to stain. Let's go. All right, today we're gonna go with a Minwax semi-transparent stain in red mahogany. It's a penetrating stain, and I've used this color before and I've really liked it, so I'm gonna go ahead with this project, and I think it's gonna fit well with my interior of my home. You guys can go ahead with any color that you choose, but that's what we're going with today. So let's get started. All right, once you guys have your stain, you're gonna want 2 rags, one for putting it on, one for taking it off, and then you obviously want gloves because you don't want this in your hands. So then you're gonna want to open it up. All right, look at that color. All right, so now you want to mix and stir. You don't want to shake it. You don't want to get bubbles in it. All right, so you just want to dip it in there, and then you start rubbing it in. Don't have it leaking too far over, but you want to get a good coating. Make sure you're getting all the low spots. And you don't have to put it on very thick because you can always put on a second coat. And so once this has been sitting for about 10 minutes or so, I'm gonna go back with the other rag and I'm gonna wipe it off. All right, and now I'm gonna wipe off the excess. Just make sure you wipe it down good. It's been sitting for about a little over 10 minutes. And I gotta get the back side next. I'll tell you what, this first coat's actually looking great. Might even just stick with the one coat because the way the sun's hitting it is actually looking really phenomenal. So now that we've already stained and prepped our board, now we just have to hang it. This is the area that I'm gonna be putting it in, and I've already marked my stud locations. So I have to transfer these measurements over to the board. So yours is gonna be different according to your wall and your space. So I'm gonna head over now and show you how I drill it. All right, so then you need to set it up in some sort of fashion where the board will not move. I did it like so. You can do whatever's comfortable or whatever way you can in your own shop. And then you need to mark on your board. I did this right here. This is where I'm drilling. Do your best to try to get this centered when you drill, make your life a lot easier. So these are the brackets that we're using. These are 6 inches. So basically we're going to be drilling a hole. These will attach to the wall, and this is how far in they're going to go. And this is the drill bit that I'm using. It's long enough to fit the length of this. I put a piece of tape for a stopper so I know when to stop drilling, because otherwise it'll go right through the whole board. You can get this at Lowe's or Home Depot. This is a 6-inch bar, so you just have to have a drill bit that'll be able to drill that length. So let's get drilling. All right, I got both the brackets on, and now we're ready for placement. Let's see if she fits. All right, moment of truth. Get that side on. All right, perfect. She's on there. Awesome. I love it. So overall, I had a really fun time making this project.
and I hope you guys enjoy making it too. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, like and subscribe for more projects similar to this. Take care.